Let's see if they play through him once the offense gets stagnant.
And so if not Leggett, if not Lampkin, who might be another X-factor type for either the Panthers or the Orange?
I think for the Panthers, it's Damian Dunn. I think he needs to be a guy that can step up. And I think it's a good time for even Elijah Moore as a freshman home. You're kind of going through the ups and downs as a freshman year, but he's a capable shooter.
Breakdown defensively inside. Cam Corrin with the layup, and he goes down hard. Appears to be okay. And so the Panthers with an easy 2 points to begin the ball game. So you saw the starting lineup. Lowe and Leggett, one of the most potent 1-2 backcourt punches in the league. And now, as you referred to, Damian Dunn is back and getting close to 100%. He's a terrific third option in the backcourt coming off the bench.
He is, and when you have a hand injury, conditioning is fine, but dribbling the basketball, catching the basketball, all those things bothersome. He's beginning to get more and more confident as he returns from his injury.
Here's Jair Davis getting another start today as Donnie Freeman remains sidelined with a foot injury. Shot clock under 5. Starling puts it up. Just like the Clemson game, that is what the Syracuse offense was early going against the Tigers.
And he's just a difficult guard. He has size, has physicality, a lot of shot-making ability. Just a big-time scorer.
Coming off a 25-point performance in the loss Wednesday down in South Carolina. Corrin has it poked away inside, up and over Lampkin, no. And number 44 in Syracuse White pulls down the rebound.
You and I talked about the matchup. It's going to be Eddie Lampkin and Cam Corrin. Because of the way they play inside, Guillermo Diaz-Graham, his ability to stretch the floor, we thought Syracuse would match up with Jair Davis.
Goaltending. Count the basket for Jair Davis as Corrin got it on the way down.
And we're starting to see the teams establish the other guys. They're trying to get the other guys going. You see Syracuse there going to Davis, attacking Diaz-Graham off the bounce.
Here is Lowe, the 6'3" sophomore from Missouri City, Texas. Again, they lob it inside, and the defense doesn't see Corrin playing up above the rim.
That's twice already here in the first half. They're back screening Eddie Lampkin, and one with Cam Corrin on the perimeter, you don't have to guard him. You got to know his scoring comes in the paint. The guard needs to sit back and help. I know they're top of the scout report, but got to help the big out in that back screen. It's a great shot there by Davis.
He has become a threat from three-point land in recent weeks. Gives Syracuse an 8-4 lead.
Shoots 35% from 3. He has a great-looking shot. You know, that's the good thing about when guys get injured. You get more opportunities. And the guy we're talking about is Donnie Freeman, who's a great rebounding freshman and a double-digit scorer.
Lampkin didn't see Lowe coming from behind, who picks his pocket. Taylor comes back and gets a jump ball. Great recovery by the Georgia State transfer.
Lucas Taylor with great hustle there, getting his hand on the basketball. Great call by the officials. I think Lucas Taylor and Kyle Cuff can elevate this Syracuse team because there are two guys that if they come in and energize this team with their defense, like plays like that, I think the scoring, they'll find itself. The game will come to them and their teammates. But they need guys to get stops. That's one of the issues that the Orange have been dealing with, is getting stops.
Here is Taylor working by Diaz-Graham for the lefty layup.
And that's what you mean. You get a stop, the basketball guys tend to reward you. You get a switch on Diaz-Graham, ability to beat him, get to the rim. But this is where you got to make your mark. Get stops.
Leggett, the senior from PG County, left it short on his first attempt of the afternoon.
I think they're missing Eddie Lampkin there. He's showing you his numbers. Got to give him touches.
He's got a big size advantage, not height advantage, but size advantage. Corrin deflects that ball out of bounds. Syracuse will keep with 14 to shoot.
Yeah, Eddie Lampkin's a guy, let him touch it early. He's an unselfish player. He really wants to pass. He's a double-double guy, but he's not looking to get 20 points. He's looking to pass the basketball when he gets it.
Starling finds the freshman, Elijah Lowe, buries it from the corner. 13-4 Orange.
Great shot there. He struggled from behind the 3, but has a reputation in the shot mechanics of being a shooter.
Zach Austin, you can say the same about him, but puts up an air ball, and here comes the Orange up 9. Again, more from that same corner. Great closeout defensively by Lowe to force the air ball.
On that shot like that, you shouldn't look to see where you are. Just catch it and shoot.
Big swing there as Ishmael Leggett answers with a triple at the other end.
Wasn't sure where he was in the corner there. Talking about Elijah Moore. Ishmael Leggett shows him it doesn't matter, just shoot it.
Lampkin. You thought that would be a key. Could he take advantage of his size and strength on the block?
I think the only guy that they have in this lineup or on the roster to physically match up is Papa Conte, and he's on the bench right now. Ball's moving, everyone's touching it, but when it settles down in the half court, if it's not in J.J. Starling hands, Eddie Lampkin goes a long way of elevating this team on the offensive end of the floor.
Whistle on the shot. Lowe will have a chance for three when we come back.
The Orange is getting hot from behind the three-point line, starting with who else? J.J. Starling knocking down threes. And the freshman's getting in on the act. Syracuse up. I think that would be the one thing. I think for both teams, they're still trying to evolve and find out. There's a confidence factor that plays in, and you're still trying to evolve and find your identity. And when teams scout you in this league and they do something against you, teams begin to emulate that, and it's attacking your weakness. And you don't know what team's going to evolve into, because the two guys you see at the top, they miss significant time. That's J.J. Starling and Damian Dunn, and they're both easing their way back into the lineup, and that's changing their teams.
Dunn, number 1 in blue, guarding Starling out front. Good ball movement to find Lampkin. And we've got our second goaltend of the afternoon. This one goes against double nickels, Zach Austin.
Great pass there by getting into Eddie Lampkin, and wow.
Well, Austin is one of the better shot blockers in the league. 5th in the ACC, 1.5 per game, but that not a block shot goes as a goaltend, and second field goal for Eddie Lampkin Jr. Camcorn hands it off to Austin.
That's one play there. It's a great job. 4 and 5 there, and the ability to switch. Great
Lowe
defense on the ball there.
Excuse me, Lowe gets back to his left hand, and it was a tough shot. Tough pass to handle. Moore able to stay in bounds and keep possession.
That's a great defensive possession there, both ends of the floor, but keeping Jaland Lowe out of the paint is a difficult task.
Inside to Corin, his third point-blank shot of the day.
That time it's just great. Cam Corin just being an athlete there. I think one advantage he has, he's giving up a lot of size and physicality inside. But sprinting 94 feet to get to the rim is something I think he could beat Eddie Lampkin down the floor in, and great job taking advantage of that.
Yeah, 6 early points for the Florida State transfer, who averages nearly 11 points and 6 rebounds tonight. Into the backcourt, Leggett tracks it down. Starling brings it back for the Orange. 13:40 remaining in the first half. Here on a Saturday afternoon in Central New York, Doug Sherman with Randolph Childress, and now backing down. A la little DJ Burns of the last couple of years at NC State. Eddie Lampkin, though, misses on the reverse. Starling for 3. And Lampkin's going to pick up the foul, going after that rebound.
That's what you and I talked about, is what Eddie Lampkin can do. Play more like DJ Burns did for a team that struggled offensively. I know they came away empty in that possession, but if you saw what happened, he missed a point-blank layup, backing you down in the lane, scoring it, kicking it outside in that time. Great job by Lowe, filling the contact, drawing a foul. Trying to draw another foul. He said, I got one. I want to draw a foul on Cam Corin there, and officials wasn't having any of it.
Nope. Well, Big Eddie is the energy guy for Syracuse. His teammates feed off it. The fans feed off it. He's on the bench now, having picked up that foul. Majstorovic into the game for the first time as they go inside. The aforementioned Papa Amadou Conti misses his first shot. Syracuse with it, up by 5. Nice pass by Majstorovic, and the reaching foul called against Damian Dunn. 2-time transfer, 4 years at Temple, and then last year at the University of Houston when he battled injuries, and coming off an injury here for Pitt.
Early, what you're seeing from Syracuse is the ball's moving. This is a team, the basketball's moving around, everyone's touching it, and they're making the right plays.
Peter Majstorovic. This is the first. What an ESPN college basketball quadruple header we have for you today. Number 9, Kentucky and Vanderbilt get it started at 2:30 Eastern. Then Cooper Flag and number 2 Duke take on Wake Forest, followed by 12th ranked Kansas hosting 7th ranked Houston. And we cap the day with number 1 ranked Auburn and number 6 Tennessee. What a day for college basketball on ESPN. Your alma mater has won 6 in a row, and at home in the Joel, they should give Duke as good a test as they're going to see in the ACC this year.
A lot of great games today. I mean, just a great day of college basketball. And what a slate.
Ball comes out to Leggett. Starling going to be whistled for the foul as Leggett hit the deck.
I think we can throw away what we've seen with Syracuse and perception for some. I think they're very much in this game, and they match up well with Pitt. They have defensive guards that they can put out there. Kyle Cuffs, we talked about him, to make life difficult for Leggett and Lowe, and I think that's what they're doing here early.
Well, on 7 made field goals, Syracuse has 4 assists, a little better connected than usual as Ishmael Leggett makes the front end. His hero is his dad, Dietrich, who suffered a massive stroke while driving his son to a 9th grade basketball practice. The crash left Dietrich paralyzed, hospitalized for 6 months, requiring 3 brain surgeries. The 2 FaceTime every day. They talk all the time, and they've got their own connection that is just special and has continued on despite the difficulties that Dad now deals with.
I recruited Ish, so I'm very familiar with the story, and just a credit to who he is. I mean, just so much character. You love him as a player. He impacts winning. And just when you understand his family dynamics and all of what he's been through, you just can't help but be a fan of his legacy. He inspires so many that's around him, and it's been fun covering him and watching his growth.
And the fact that he's a DC guy isn't so bad for
That
you.
doesn't hurt either. You know, I love my D&D guys.
Out of St. John's College High School. Good poke away inside by Zach Austin. Pitt with it, down 4. Dunn gets around Bell using the screen. Bell recovers. Missed shot. Good rebound by Damian Dunn, who at 6'5", 205, mixing it up inside with some
Escape, and also he's trying to warp Syracuse into what he wants it to be. And when you've had a guy like Boeheim, a legend, a guy who's built this program, it takes some time. I think people need to be a little bit patient. He's trying to build Syracuse in what he sees and his vision, and I think people need to be a little bit more patient about that. And I know that's difficult in today's time, and I think it's more so nowadays when, you know, your alma mater has a high level of expectations on this job, and I think patience is warranted.
10-second violation as the Orange couldn't get it across the timeline. And so now Pittsburgh trying to completely eliminate what was a 9-point deficit. The former point guard at Syracuse. The only time he has been in college basketball was a few years under our buddy Seth Greenberg at Virginia Tech, before coming back to his alma mater. Little floater by Ish Leggett now with 7 points, and he draws the Panthers back within 1. How do you think Jeff Capel was served by coaching for his dad at Old Dominion, then having 2 other head coaching stops at VCU and Oklahoma, then going back to Duke, as opposed to, for the most part, Autry has been at Syracuse and heard one voice throughout his playing and coaching career?
Oh, you got to remember, Jeff coached with his dad. Dad was a great coach, so he's grown up around the game, and so much insight when you do that. And then he goes and plays for the greatest coach in college basketball history and learns from Coach K and what he's been able to learn. And then also the experience factor with him. You go in and you have different stops, and he understands what this league is. He's played in it. He's been an assistant in it, now a head coach in it. And it's just a different perspective, where Autry's learning on the fly as this game evolves. And he's trying to make this transition with not a lot of head coaching experience.
Capel got his first head coaching job at 27. Autry didn't get his first until he was 51.
Yes.
So he's still learning his whys. Red Autry said after his rookie season as a head coach last year, now he better understands his whys. Why am I doing this? Why am I saying this?
And when to do it.
When to do it, right.
Yes. And it takes time with that, and particularly when you're, again, it's never easy without the circumstances, but when you're replacing a legend, and I mean, you know, we're talking about one of the better, most influential coaches in the history of this game. And Jim Boeheim with the zone and everything else and how it was emulated and never duplicated with so many different people.
25 feet from the bucket, Dunn picks up the personal foul as Kyle Cuff hit the floor. Cuff, Majstorovic, Lampkin, Jaquan Carlos, and Chris Bell out on the floor. So 4 reserves. The only starter out there is Lampkin. Now we get one of the twin brothers coming in. Guillermo Diaz-Graham back in with Cam Corrin, Jaland Lowe, Ish Leggett. And that looks like Zach Austin over there, number 55 in blue. Panthers with the lead 19-18. They had been down by as many as 9, and Syracuse has gone quite a while since its last field goal. Ball coming this way. Your hands weren't ready, Chip.
I was getting them ready to shoot.
I was worried about you. Thank you right there. The man sitting in the nice Hawaiian Syracuse shirt next to us just saved my guy.
He did. But
2,000-point score with your number hanging at the jaw.
Make no mistake. I would have caught that and shot that. You don't worry. That's one thing. I couldn't move, but I would have moved my hands. My body wasn't getting out of the way, but I would have got it and shot it.
Majstorovic in rhythm for 3. And the Orange continue to make their jump shots here this afternoon.
8 of the Orange 9 wins are here in the Dome, and that's where your role players are apart, feel more comfortable feeding off the crowd, and got to keep Lowe and Leggett from going to that right hand when possible. For the most part, the Orange are doing a really good job, but when you make a mistake against these two, when it's difficult because both are downhill, they're forcing contact and forcing the officials to make a call, and obviously Red Archie doesn't like that call.
If you are a lip reader,
yeah,
we'll keep it to yourself. But clearly not happy with that call. Jaland Lowe back at the free throw line, the best free throw shooter in the ACC, 9th best in the country at 91%, pretty much automatic. His three-point shooting percentage is down this year to 28%. What do you make of that? Because he is a good shooter.
He is. I think it's scouting report. He doesn't get as many looks. You lose a guy like Bub Carrington, who drew a lot of attention himself. And now he's the primary guy. It seems that he's the top of scouting report this year. And that's the only part of his game I think that's slow to evolve this year.
So how about that? Majstorovic gets in the way of his teammate, knocks him on the ground, makes it a tough shot, and leaves himself an easy rebound tip-in. I like the way Majstorovic is going about that.
Skilled guy. When you're dealing with freshmen, we talked about it. You don't know what's going to happen. He gets in the way of his teammate, but he makes up for it. And the confidence now. He just knocked down a 3, follows up with a basket here, and that's 5 quick points. And you know, some of the Orange alum right now are going, where's this team been? But this is all part of this team growth and adjustments to what's going on. And sometimes when you're on the road, you don't play well. The best thing for you is to get home and get in front of your crowd. And not a better crowd and not a better supportive group than here in the Dome.
Amsal Delalic, the freshman from Bosnia and Herzegovina, is coming to the game for the first time for Pittsburgh. Majstorovic, meanwhile, he was a very late addition to this roster. He didn't sign with Syracuse and get here until August, and the idea was he wasn't going to play a whole lot as a freshman, but he has brought things to this team that they have needed and desired. And when he adds the scoring to it, as he has here this afternoon, even more valuable. On the screen and roll, gets it back, kick to the side for Bell.
That pass right there is a part of his game. That's why you want the ball in his hands. He moves the basketball, he passes it well. The rest of his game is whether he gives you a ton of scoring, you don't worry about it as much, but he's growing, he's developing.
On the switch, Cuff was up against it, trying to defend Corrin inside, and so he gives up the foul. And so Cam Corrin, who spent the last 2 years in Tallahassee playing for Coach Hamilton, at the line shooting a 1-and-1. Former top 100 recruit coming out of John Paul II High School in Texas. Here's our featured ESPN2 Big Monday women's basketball matchup. Tahina Paupau and number 2 South Carolina in Knoxville to take on Talasia Cooper and number 17 Tennessee at 7 Eastern time. The Gamecocks are now 19-1. They won 14 in a row.
Big win over LSU, over the Tigers.
Their only loss was at Pauley Pavilion to the now #1 team in the country in UCLA. Will the Gamecocks win another national title? Mr. Childress?
Well, we'll see. You lose an injury, you lose one of your better players to an ACL injury, and not having a ton of time to practice. I mean, they're as talented as anyone, as we know.
You know what? The week of practice, as Bell makes the three, takes a deep sigh of relief, and the Orange back in front, 26-23. What did you see from Pittsburgh in their shoot-around here at the Dome last night? They had a full practice in Pittsburgh before flying up yesterday. They're in the midst of a 4-game losing streak as Lampkin looks to attack. What's your sense of Pitt right now?
I think they're searching for answers. There's a lack of confidence with the group, and they're competing right now where they're defending. But if you're a Pitt Panther fan doing this stretch, you also got to ask yourself, it's Lowe, it's Leggett, and who's the third guy going to be? And right now, those two guards have gotten off to productive starts. But again, you're searching for the third scorer on this group right now. And Cam Corrin has stepped up right here early with 6 points himself.
Well, this losing streak is their longest in 3 years. They are 3-4 in the league to slide down the standings a bit. Still 12-6 overall. Only the 6 losses here as we're hitting late January is not bad at all. The metrics on Pitt still very good. They're a top 32 team in the net. And so they still very much have everything out in front of them. As of this morning, Joe Lunardi still has them in the field as a 10 seed, but they can't afford to lose what would be a quad 3 game here today in Syracuse.
Oh, you used up all your mulligans is what you have.
Yeah.
And now it's everything matters. It could be, right now you're in danger if the season was to end today, that someone could steal a bid from you. You don't want your future in someone else's hands.
Well, with Kyle Cuff and J.J. Starling both on the bench with 2 fouls each, someone else is going to have to step up in that Syracuse backcourt. And Jaquan Carlos says, what about me?
And he's a guy I think needs to try to score more. He's a willing passer. Sometimes I think he's too unselfish. Transfer from Hofstra, had 6 assists a game a year ago. And I think he's adjusted to the high-level play, the athleticism, and what he's competing against at the ACC level.
He started the first 14 games of the year for Coach Autry. Lampkin leaves it short, gets another Moses Malone opportunity, couple of rebounds, still comes away with no points.
Second bunny, I think Lampkin's missed there. I think he can be a little bit more patient.
Another big turn where Leggett buries a 3 after a missed opportunity at the other end for the Orange. Double figures for the senior. Last year's 6th man of the year in the Atlantic Coast Conference.
He's a gamer. Pitt, you got to be happy. Your backcourt that leads this team is off to a hot start.
And the Syracuse team numbers creep up since Starling came back from his right hand injury, and not surprisingly, they are now up over 30%. This is a Syracuse team that will not be an excellent 3-point shooting team, I wouldn't think, the rest of the way, but they should be better if Starling is out there.
Well, the more threes you knock down, the more comfortable you are. It opens up the paint.
Well, here's another open look, this time for Taylor. Pittsburgh with it, down by 2, 6:17 to go in the first half. Panthers looking to snap their 4-game slide. Damian Dunn misfires. Majstorovic has given Syracuse good minutes.
He has, and right now you want to see, I think maybe play through Eddie Lampkin a little bit here. J.J. Starling's on the bench. Where do you get your offense from?
Taylor loses his balance, gathers, puts it up on the rim. Lampkin after it. He's just bigger than everybody in blue out there.
Got to get more touches there that time, and that's what you want from a big. When you don't get it in the post, go get it off the glass. And as we talked about in the opener, Lowe and Starling, those 2 guys are going to play. Who's going to be the third best player on the floor tonight? Is it going to be Ishmael Leggett? Is it going to be Eddie Lampkin? We got, these guys are battling right now. Both are off a strong first half.
And for Pittsburgh, one of the determining factors whether they win or lose this year has been rebounding. In their 6 losses, they have been dominated on the glass, and so far today that has been the case, with Syracuse out rebounding Pittsburgh 14-7.
Yes, it's a big part for Pitt, and I followed Jeff Capel's history. Rebounding the basketball and defending the 3-point line has been instrumental in what the success the Panthers have had. And overall, they've done it. They just had a TV timeout segment where it's been the 8-minute mark, the 4-minute mark, where they hadn't rebounded, played well, and it's cost them. The last 3 losses, they've been right there in those ball games.
That foul was on Dunn. He's already got 3. And Leggett is back on the Pittsburgh bench. Horn sets the screen for Leggett. Finds Lowe filling from behind. Gives it back to Leggett. Still plenty of time with the shot clock. Lowe, a deep range three. In and out.
That's an excellent defensive possession there by the Orange. Guarded multiple actions, stayed in front of the basketball, and defended, had Pitt shooting a contested three.
Syracuse playing with J.J. Starling on the bench with 2 personal fouls. Bell goes into the lane, gets tied up, and the foul is called. That is Jaland Lowe, and that's his second foul. So if you're Jeff Capel, do you keep Lowe on the floor right now with those 2?
It's 5 minutes left in the half. I think with the score right now, I think he'll take Lowe out. There's no reason to risk him getting his 3rd foul, but I think that'll affect his aggressiveness in the second half.
And so we'll get our first look at the freshman guard, Brandon Cummings, 4-star recruit, who put 30 on Eastern Kentucky back in December. What a night. 6 of 8 from beyond the 3-point line, earned ACC Rookie of the Week, but his minutes have come and gone, and now with Damian Dunn back and healthy, taking more of the minutes, unless you have foul trouble, he may not get into ball games.
Well, he's playing behind a all-conference backcourt. Leggett and Lowe. It's just not a ton of minutes there, but I know practice is great learning experience for him, and he's been really productive as a freshman. He's got minutes.
Austin Lampkin with another rebound. He's become one of the best rebounders in the ACC, up to 4th in the league at over 8 per game. Pass to the corner for Bell, who puts it on the deck. Left his feet with nowhere to go and turns it back over to the Panthers.
Right now from Pitt, where's my offense coming from? You know, you look at their lineup on the floor right now. This is, I think, some of the issues that Coach Capel is dealing with right now. If Lowe gets in foul trouble, the crowd is reacting to that last dead ball situation. It's where's the offense going to come from here? Ishmael Leggett's played well, but who else can I rely on to get me points?
Deland. No. 8th rebound for Eddie Lampkin. He's averaging more than 10 per game over his last 11. Majstorovic denied. Off the Austin block, it's Lampkin active inside again, and the whistle will go against Pittsburgh. And it'll go against Zach Austin.
Love the energy I'm seeing out of Eddie Lampkin right now. He's not getting in the post. It's not always easy to find a guy and finding passing angles for a big. And honestly, I don't think a lot of guys work on or know how to actually post feed. But when you don't, he's not pouting. He's going to get it off the glass. Love his energy and his activity on the glass.
And in large part because of him, Syracuse maintains its place as the 5th best rebounding team in the league with Donnie Freeman out. So you see, he is a terrific rebounder, able to get rebounds out of his area, but he continues to receive treatment on that right foot. And the university, the team has been non-specific about what the injury is and what his timeline is. But even if he were to be cleared and healthy tomorrow, it would take a while for him to get back on the floor and be able to be productive, I would think.
Yeah, with a foot injury, it's also each day the conditioning becomes an issue, timing and everything else that comes with it. And his mobility and activity is a big part of his game.
No great crash on the offensive glass by Jorge Diaz-Graham, the shorter and younger of the twins.
Known as a 3-point shooter. But again, we talked about that rebounding. How do you impact the game? You don't get it, go to the glass, get an offensive rebound, help your team out. Great job by Jorge Diaz-Graham.
How about if you're 6'11" and you're the short brother? You're the short brother.
Yeah, right.
His twin brother is 7 feet and on the bench right now. Carlos has to retreat and get the ball in the backcourt. 20 on the shot clock. Jair Davis comes up to set the screen, gets it back, open 3. Another good look for the Orange. This one missed, and now with 3 minutes to go in the half, Pittsburgh can retake the lead.
Good shot there for the Orange. And we talked about the improvement in the shot selection. They're not a great 3-point shooting team, but the three-ball percentage will go up when you take open looks and you don't force anything. It just comes naturally in the flow of your offense. That's the issue right now Pitt's having, as we discussed. They're just buying time until Lowe gets back out there.
Carlos, no. Taylor, yes.
Impact the game is how you decide how many minutes you're going to get. Plays aren't designed for you. Offensive rebound, effort, defensive stops. Look at Carlos pressuring the freshman. Not everybody can score it. Everyone wants to score it. How do you impact the game in other ways?
Cummings missed the runner. Another rebound for big number 44. Now Carlos, the senior from Brooklyn, New York, playing bigger minutes here in the first half due to foul trouble to J.J. Starling and also Kyle Cuff Jr.
Ball spending a lot of time on the perimeter now. Look for a dribble handoff. But Eddie Lampkin there is a great job by Zach Martin blowing it up.
And Taylor's got to fire it from the logo. Orange catch a break on the long rebound to Lampkin.
Wait for the double team.
And then go around it. And an offensive foul. So that'll take us to break. The Orange have been without Starling.
4 offensive rebounds in that 12 and been really, really active on the glass. And I think he's been slightly better as the third guy, and I think that's why you see a 3-point lead here for the Orange.
Well, Majstorovic leads Syracuse with 6 points. 8 different players have scored. Good hustle by Jorge Diaz-Graham to lay it in. Back to a 1-point ball game.
Those are the 50-50 plays you got to have, right? When you're in a game like this and you're struggling and when you're not one of the main guys, how do you get yourself going? You go out, you hustle your activity, you manufacture points. Great job there.
Lucas Taylor goes to the left shoulder and scores.
What do you know? You defend, you get a few stops. The activity, not only offensive end, you get a chance to make a play. And this is where Lucas Taylor has to have a big impact.
Leggett over Taylor and then stares at his defender after knocking in the shot.
That's what we talked about. It's going to come down to those 2 guys. He's a winner. This Pitt Panther team has been challenged. And right now, he needs to be the guy on the offensive end of the floor with Jaland Lowe on the bench with 2 fouls. And he's carried this team the last 5 minutes to make sure that they go in at half.
Carlos and Cummings, not the point guard matchup we were expecting due to the foul trouble. Bell gets blocked. The heave from about 80 feet away off the mark.
He's got a couple of hockey assists by creating and finding open guys, and they've won more to score it. So great first half.
Well, after making their first 3 threes to begin the ballgame, Syracuse cooled off as Cam Corrin picks up to start the second half like he did the ballgame with the dunk to put Pittsburgh back in front. Pitt also closed that first half, missing 8 of their 11 shots, but they quickly get the ball inside for a high percentage shot.
And that's frustrating because that's the exact same play they opened up the game with. And you saw it for the second time, and the results are the same. If you're Syracuse, you've got to make that adjustment. As a guard, you got to help the big out. And even as Eddie Lampkin, you don't have any responsibility of showing on the ball screen. Your defense has been chasing guys off. You got to make sure you stay between your defender, Cam Corrin, and the basket.
Well, Lampkin with those 12 rebounds is nearing his season high and his career high. He should obliterate both of those numbers. Here is big number 44. Second defender comes. Taylor for 3. Lampkin with another offensive rebound. Taylor this time gets swatted by Austin, one of the best in the ACC, blocking shots. 6 on the timer. Taylor attacks. The Orange have their first 2 of the second half.
Again, put the ball in Eddie Lampkin's hands, and you'd like for it to be in the post, but even on the perimeter, his ability to pass, find the right guys, goes underrated.
And so now J.J. Starling, just a minute 10 into the second half, has 3 personal fouls.
It's a big foul there. It's remind me of guys, I often say this, you've got to protect your fouls. Stealing that possession is not worth their time of you being on the bench. And you got to watch now, does it affect his aggressiveness on the offensive and defensive part of the floor. I mean, he's got to stay assertive in this game.
Missed it. Lampkin with another rebound. Yeah, Starling missed the last 11 minutes of the first half with Coach Autry protecting him from picking up that third foul.
And you pick it up like that. Situation where a guard's not even looking to score.
Starling open from the corner for three.
I think he's not worried about being aggressive at all. He gets the next possession, knocks down a three. But he's guarding Ishmael Leggett, who's really aggressive. And at some point, I'm wondering if they try to move him on another guy to not be effective.
Another dunk for Cam Corrin.
And that right there, because of that third foul, that defensive rotation was J.J. Starling. But again, he has three. Doesn't want to put himself in harm's way. And he concedes the basket.
Starling, Moore, Lampkin, Davis, and Taylor, the same starting five to begin the second half for the Orange. Corrin, Leggett, Lowe, Austin, and Guillermo Diaz-Graham, same starting five for Pitt. Taylor's got to go to work along the baseline. Shot clock at 1 as Davis puts it up.
Right here.
No, they didn't convert the shot, but that's a good offensive possession there.
Lowe, great hesitation right to the rim. Easy two for Pitt, and we're tied at 38.
When you're in a lot of ball games like this, those are the baskets you can't concede. Great job by Lowe just driving it. But it's really a point-blank layup there. And
a rare turnover for the Orange. They had check that. They had 8 in the first half. Pittsburgh was the one that had only 3 in the first half. So an unforced error there 3 minutes into the second half.
look at Lowe after the pin down here. Set the ball screen and look for him to attack.
Lowe draws the second defender into Corrin. Back outside, Diaz-Graham. Nothing but net. First 3 points for the 7-foot junior from the Canary Islands. Pittsburgh up 3. It's the largest lead of the day for the Panthers.
You get your main guy back in the game and you just run your offense through him and let him create plays. And he didn't get the direct assist, but the hockey assist. But it started with Jaland Lowe creating on the ball screen.
Taylor uses the screen. A little strong on the pull-up. Lampkin gets it back and lays it in. So a new career high, going past what he had done for TCU 3 years ago in the NCAA tournament against Arizona. And the Orange back within a point.
You know, Kelvin Sampson we know is a great coach, but all those matchups, that's just a great slate of college basketball today. And high-level games, talented, and should be fun to watch.
Well, Auburn has won its last 10. The only time they've lost this year was back in early December to Duke in the SEC ACC Challenge. Will Janai Broome play? And if he does, how effective will he be? Should be a great showdown in the powerful SEC later tonight. Another rebound for the big man, Eddie Lampkin. We're already digging deep into the record books. Most rebounds for a Syracuse player against Pittsburgh. Billy Owens in 1991 had 16. Barama Sidibe matched him in 2018. Lampkin's having that kind of afternoon to go into the record books. Extra pass, Kyle Cuff looking for his first points of the day. One and done for the Orange on a nice defensive rebound by Guillermo Diaz-Graham.
I bet you had that Billy Owens rebound margin memorized. You knew that, didn't you?
I did not. My guy Christian sitting to my left gave it to me. Good stuff. Working inside, Ishmael Leggett at 6'3", 185. He's not the biggest guy in the court, but he can work the paint as well as anybody that size.
He may not be the biggest, but he very well may be the toughest, like we talked about. He's just a winner. In a game like this, if you're Pitt Panthers, you got to have Ishmael Leggett came to play.
Well, he and Jaland Lowe putting up numbers not many others around the country can match in terms of backcourt duos. Elijah Moore with his second made 3. And he draws the Orange back to within a tie at 43 apiece. Anytime you can mention the great Billy Owens on a broadcast, come on.
Absolutely.
His son, by the way, is a reserve on this Syracuse team, Chaz Owens.
Great time for you Orange alum But I got to tell you, my favorite was always Sherman Douglas.
There you go.
Growing up watching him, and he's not much older than myself, but boy, did I enjoy watching him play basketball.
Well, we know Sherm still watches his alma mater. We were happy to both see him last year on Jim Boeheim Day here in the Dome, and he came up to honor his former coach. Lowe. It's a pretty shot along the baseline.
I texted him the other day thinking I was texting you, getting prepared for this game.
That screenshot you sent was beautiful. He's like, what?
He's like, what? He had no idea what I was talking about. I'm thinking I'm texting Sherman Douglas.
No, you thought you were texting Douglas Sherman.
Yeah, of course.
You sent it to Sherman Douglas, and Sherman Douglas responds to Chill like, what are you talking about, man?
Like, what do you mean? You just called 5 straight games. You're like a coach. What are you talking about?
Here's Moore. Off the fake, got the shot blocked by Lowe, gets it back. Able to beat the buzzer. Long rebound, grabbed by Davis.
That's a possession that Pitt has to deal with. That they've struggled with to close games, and when they've been out rebounding. What happens is they switch so much, that's on guards. And if you see Lowe and Leggett get about 10 a game, but they're forced to because you see the switching right there with Leggett on Jair Davis.
Syracuse gets a bailout with the shot clock down to 1 on the reach-in foul as the Orange try to make do without Starling and his 3.
They're going to have to play through him with JJ in foul trouble.
Starling back into the game. He inbounds, playing with those 3 fouls. Out there with Moore and Cuff on the perimeter. Davis inside. Lowe, Dunn, and Leggett as Pitt goes with a 3-guard defense, along with Cam Corrin and Austin. And Starling starting to heat up. He's now got 8 points.
That's just the difficulty in guarding him. You play good defense, but can't account for a 6'5" physical guard getting downhill.
Corrin hands it off to Lowe. 13 on the timer. 12:22 remaining second half, and what's been mostly a tight ball game. Syracuse led early by as many as 9, but the Panthers have hung right in there. Lowe with another 2.
Lowe is as good as you're going to find at reading ball screens. He's just elite at it, and not a lot of guards are. Just how do you want to defend it? He's going to have a counter to it. Keeping him out of the paint is impossible. You definitely don't want him going left. And he's got the floater, he's got the 3-ball.
Lowe with a block shot. By the way, I love what Ishmael Leggett just did defensively, communicating to his teammates behind him. And 1 for Lowe. Pittsburgh with a 4-point lead, its largest of the afternoon. Well, Jaland Lowe first met Jeff Capel when he was a middle schooler coming up in Texas. He and his dad got an opportunity while they were on the road in North Carolina, while Coach Capel was an assistant coach at Duke, to tour Cameron Indoor and go around campus, and that relationship maintained and blossomed into an opportunity for Jaland Lowe to come last year as a top 100 recruit and play for Coach Capel in the blue and gold of Pittsburgh. Elijah Moore has it poked away. Shot clock now down to 5. Starling glances that way, fires it up. And a foul on the rebound. Lampkin and Corrin were battling. It is going to go against Cameron Corrin. Just his first former top 100 recruit as well.
He's battling down there, but he's got his hand full. Eddie Lampkin's a load, and you got to get your body into him, because once he gets a spot, you can't move him.
Taylor in the corner, being crowded by Damian Dunn. Spin to the baseline. Good recovery by Dunn to make it a tough shot. I should say that was Chris Bell, not Taylor. Dunn off the bounce. Able to get to his spot, knock down the shot, and the Pittsburgh lead is 6.
Big difference in those 2 possessions. I don't know if Coach Autry wants an isolation for Chris Bell, and then Pitt comes down, gets a dribble handoff, and Dunn curls the screen and walks right into a pull-up jump shot. It's just part of their offense right now, and it's critical the ball continues to move like it did in the first half of Syracuse.
Starling, no. Here come the Panthers the other way. Lowe able to track down the long pass and lay it in.
Great pass, great catch and finish there by Lowe. And right now, this is the danger zone for Syracuse. The ball isn't moving. First half, I thought everybody was involved. The ball was It's moving from side to side. Everyone's touching it. Right now, it's stagnant. A lot of isolation, a lot of dribbling. Great job there. Just getting into your offensive set. Let the defense make a mistake and you punish the defense and not force anything.
Lowe trying to answer. Can't do it. Lampkin with the outlet. Bell has it taken away. Ishmael Leggett with a big defensive play. Just past the midpoint of the second half as Pittsburgh tries to seize control.
Both teams playing with a level of desperation right now. Both teams need this win. Obviously, only one team can get it, but they're competing at a high level.
Yeah, the Panthers haven't won since January 4th against Stanford. Lampkin with another rebound.
You got to take advantage. Lowe's on the ground. You got numbers. Attack the rim.
They find the right man open in the corner, and Chris Bell cashes in. He gets a high five from his head coach. And the timeout comes. 18 rebounds for Eddie Lampkin. The 18th pays off in a big three at the other end.
You got to take advantage of a guard when he falls, and great job by J.J. Starling pushing it, hitting Chris Bell in the corner for another three for the Orange. Wow.
Pitt used an 8-0 run to take a 6-point lead. Not that moment, about a minute ago, Randolph. You thought, okay, the Panthers are about to seize control, but a big switch in a very short period of time for the Orange.
Great job there. Twice Lowe got in the paint, unable to finish. And Lowe he fell. One time he didn't get back right away, and he fell the last time. And great job by the Orange. And Eddie Lampkin was securing rebounds and outletting it. And the Orange are getting a couple easy baskets, and just like that, when you think they were going to be out of it, they could convert, and now it's a one-possession game.
Austin given some room. Leggett has Starling defending with the foul trouble, and you get the sense JJ had to lay off just a little bit, and Leggett takes advantage.
6'3" guard just goes in, gets an offensive rebound amongst the Giants. Just a post-up fadeaway there.
Well, you know, Dylan Harper and Ace Bailey at Rutgers, the two great freshmen, likely lottery picks, are the only guard tandem in the country averaging 16.5 points and 4 rebounds per game, along with Jaland Lowe and Ishmael Leggett. Some huge numbers. Here comes Lowe. Austin for 3. The tap back out to Lowe.
When both of these teams have struggled, these have been the type of possessions that they've had. You can't give anyone multiple possessions. But right now in this possession, they're chasing. Late on screens, late on closeouts. Pitt making them pay.
In his 5th game back from injury, Damian Dunn has been a good third option in the backcourt. He stretches the lead to 8.
Plenty of time. No need to panic. Run your offense. No bad shot selection here for the Orange. Put the balls in the hands of Eddie Lampkin.
Bell. No. Corin. And he hands it off to Lowe, who will walk it up.
You'd like to see better offensive execution there on the half court there. And let's see if you can get the ball. You'll see the Pitt here. Put the ball in Lowe's hand and let him operate.
He does. Corin blocked from behind by Lampkin. Starling comes away with it. Here comes the junior with a full head of steam. Up and off the glass. 58-52.
Great hands there by Eddie Lampkin with the block. Looked like Cam Corin was trying to get an easy layup there.
A whistle and a foul off the ball that's going to go against.
You guys are everywhere. The Orange.
You're welcome. Well, Pittsburgh trying to seize control here with just over 7 minutes to go. They only led for a minute in the first half when Syracuse led by as many as 9. But coming out of the timeout, the Panthers have great ball movement. And number 55, Zach Austin, looks to the heavens saying, I finally got one today.
Great possession there for the Panthers. Autry doubles Lowe coming off a ball screen. Just great ball movement. Open guy gets it, takes shots. Those usually go in.
First 3 points of the day for the 42% three-point shooter from Winston-Salem Prep. J.J. Starling. 10 of his 13 have come since the break. And Syracuse hanging in there down 6.
I think he lost a little bit of his ability to attack when he picked up his 3rd foul. Now he hasn't picked up one since. He's able to stay in attack mode. I think you got to get him going downhill because he creates for everyone else.
For the basketball and his foul. It looked like Jair Davis was going to come up with that 50-50 ball, and out of nowhere, Corin comes away with it.
This is what happens. Go after this ball with 2 hands, you get it. 50-50 balls matters. Jair Davis a little upset. He felt like Cam Corin had his left hand, and officials didn't call it, but the ability to get 50-50 balls and convert extra opportunities for the team. The difference in winning and losing games when they're close like this.
Just the 4th team foul against Syracuse. Dunn with Bell going flying out of bounds. The lane was wide open, and Dunn gets his easiest 2 of the day.
That's what the game boils down to. When you're struggling to find a way to win, possessions like that matter. Pitt had been on the other end of plays like that in winning games during this stretch. They're trying to change the narrative right now, and they're making these plays, giving themselves an opportunity here to end the losing streak.
Bell off the shot flank. Fake. Misses the layup. Syracuse will keep.
Chris Bell there. Just go up strong. Got a better chance if you don't draw the foul. Once you start moving the ball around, if there's contact, you won't get the call.
So now Lampkin with his 18 rebounds comes in to replace Davis. And by the way, if you're wondering, the single game record for rebounding in Syracuse history was 34 by Frank Redout way back in 1952. Jesse Edwards, the last Syracuse player, with 20 rebounds in a game. Taylor in and out. Lampkin with his 19th rebound. He had a chance for 3.
He's been so good today. I mean, there he gets the ball. The play started with him. And he's done a great job of this. He's got a lot of hockey assists tonight. Shot goes up. He's carving out space, getting an angle on the glass. I don't think he jumps very high, but he carves out space. Playing with angles. And once he gets a spot, you're not going to move him. He's been amazing on the glass here today.
Every bit of 6'11", 265. And there's another double-double. Freddie Lampkin.
5 of his last 6 games, he's had a double-double. Big possession there. 5-point lead with 5 minutes to go. Now you got to get stops.
Lowe got a step on Taylor, creates the space and quiets the crowd.
He's a closer. He requires extra attention and loves the mid-range jump shot. You cannot allow him to come off with freedom. Going to his left hand.
Over his last 3 games, averaging better than 20 per game. Starling, no. Dunn attacks the glass, and he's fouled by Majstorovic. Just the 6th team foul against Syracuse. So a non-shooting foul. The Panthers will have it in the backcourt.
Red Autry, I want to mention to my star, J.J. Starling there. We don't need long threes. Just get it in rhythm, get downhill. He's going to get fouled.
Lampkin giving up his body. Also picks up the foul to deny Cam Corin from an easy 2.
Lampkin's helping on the ball screen on that side. That's Chris Bell's fault. You're the low man on the weak side. You've got to come down and help him. You're late. And Eddie Lampkin gets the foul. Cam Corns played really well today as well. He's chipped in early and often. Had his moments here. He's been the third guy for the Pitt Panthers. He and Damian Dunn have been solid.
I love the idea that Cam Corrin is the only Pittsburgh player on the roster who was recruited out of high school by ACC schools.
Yeah.
Of course, he went to Florida State. The other guys kind of overlooked, undervalued perhaps, and Coach Capel and his staff have identified them and coached them up. Rebound number 20 by Lampkin ties Ian Shefflin of Clemson for the most in an ACC game this year. That came against Kentucky back in early December.
Talked about the guys with the Panthers. There's a level of toughness that's required. They're going to play for Jeff Capel.
Bell, wide open. Got it. Back to a 4-point game.
I think he's your playmaker in a half court. You get in a game like this, you don't get transition baskets. I think you need to play through Eddie Lampkin more. He's unselfish. He has great vision. When he's not turning the basketball over, play through him.
Lowe, got it. There's that closer mentality you're talking about, Randolph.
Yeah, he's telling everybody to calm down. I'm him. Great defensive possession there, but just better offense. If you're J.J. Starling here, don't settle. Get it again. They don't want to switch. They want to keep a guard on you. Just get to the rim. They got to foul you.
The whistle comes on the shot. And they may check to see if that was a goaltend.
You know, kind of go over things that you struggled with. And I think it gives you a chance to work on situational basketball. This team outside of the Duke game has been in very close games in their last three losses. And you see better execution here down the stretch. They're shooting 59% in the second half. I think they're controlling the paint either off the dribble or off passing the cutters. And I think that's why they're leading this game here.
You notice Starling also has a wrap on his left hand now. Took the fall in the Wednesday game at Clemson, so both of his hands a little bit compromised. He's able to get 1 out of 2 from the line, back to a 5-point game. And this Pittsburgh team that has a net ranking of 32 still, despite the 4-game losing streak, with the basketball on top by 5.
Big possession here defensively. Got to find a way to keep Leggett and Lowe out of the paint.
Leggett in the paint, misfires. Taylor grabs the rebound for Syracuse. 3 minutes left in regulation.
Get a good possession here. Ball movement, body movement. No quick shots. No need.
Off the handoff from Lampkin. Taylor draws the whistle and will shoot 2. Taylor frustrated with himself that he didn't make that bank shot. But he'll have a chance to get the 2 points at the free throw line.
You run the dribble handoff with Eddie Lampkin, and the big doesn't want to help. Great job by Taylor there. Turning the corner, drawing the foul. Big free throws here as he has a chance here to make it a 1-possession game.
Smooth for the 85% foul shooter. Coming up at 5:30 Eastern on ABC, our triple header rolls on with Celtics, Mavs, and then the countdown crew will get you ready for Lakers, Warriors at 8 o'clock. Couple of perfect swishes off the fingertips of the Raleigh, North Carolina native. It's back to a 1-possession game. Ball gets back to Lowe, who finds Austin for 3. Got it! Huge 3 and second in a row for Zach Austin.
Great defense there, but better shot. Lowe comes off, and you just got to give him extra attention. And that's where the trust comes in right now. Don't feel as though you single-handedly have to do it all alone.
Lampkin misses twice. Majstorovic gets the roll. 2:01 to go. Timeout Syracuse. Majstorovic continues to give the Orange a boost. Hit by 4 late. Both teams have led by as many as 9 points this afternoon. Syracuse in the first half, Pittsburgh in the second half. As we have our game reset, you see that the Orange own the possession arrow. What do you think is going to be the difference, Randolph, over the final 2:01 here in regulation?
Obviously, you get out of your reserve players, but again, I think it's Lowe and Leggett setting the table on the offensive end. Can you get stops and can you rebound the basketball and finish possessions? I think their team right now, both are in a rhythm. They're finishing possessions with their stars, the ball in their stars' hands. What the decision-making of their stars? Are they forcing issues or are they trusting their teammates? And I think Pitt right now, Lowe is controlling this game on the offensive end, and on the other end, I think Lampkin's doing a really good job for the Orange.
6 ties, 6 lead changes.
You got to know
have
what's
12
coming.
on the timer.
You got to know what's coming. The same play. They're coming out. They're running trying to get Low on a dribble handoff, get to his left hand. Great job defending the first action. And you got to finish the possession and rebound it.
Air ball. Starling's got it. He attacks. Gathers, misses the shot. Big rebound for Austin. Corin and Lampkin hit the deck. Both seem to be okay.
The crowd wanted a call there, and I talked to Bill Covington after a game and before, and he said he doesn't call those fouls if the defense is entitled to a spot, and you can't just take a full head of steam and run a guy over. You got to make a move, and I think that's what they saw there in that last possession, why they didn't call a foul.
And now Majstorovic is called for the foul, which further draws the ire of the Dome crowd. Third foul on Majstorovic. And so 1-1 as the Panthers have reached the bonus. Well, Pittsburgh has shot the free throws very well this year, led by the man who has the basketball right now. 91% tops in the ACC. Gets the first, and he will shoot the bonus.
Yeah, he's not the guy you want to foul and put on the line. And that's what's been so surprising with Pitt and their inability to close games, because they're a really good free throw shooting team. And with this guy on the floor, he's shooting 90%, 91%. You definitely don't want to foul him. You've got to find a way to take the ball out of his hands. And of course, I jinxed him.
Orange down 4, under a minute to play. Starling to Majstorovic, bounce it inside. Lampkin poked away by Dunn, and he saves it for the Panthers. What a defensive play for Double D.
Great idea, but if you can't throw a bounce pass to him, you got to throw it up high. You see Eddie Lampkin telling Majstorovic there, throw it up. You don't pass it to a big guy at his feet. You allow the guard to come around and get his hands on it, and that's what happened.
And there's the aforementioned Bill Covington. Gonna see whose ball it is on the sideline out of bounds.
Big decision, big call here.
And what was the call on the floor?
I think it was Pitt. Called Pitt. I think it's all Lucas Taylor's foot.
Yeah, so the call was Syracuse ball, and like you, I think that the left foot of Taylor, let's see again, watch number 3 in white. Did he kick it out of bounds, and was it touched there by the finger of Lowe after it was off the foot of Taylor?
My eyesight isn't that good. I can't tell.
Want my readers? They're not helping me either.
I can't tell if Lowe touched it, but it definitely hit Lucas Taylor's foot.
And again, since the call on the floor was Syracuse, the officials have to feel comfortable that they see decisive
to overturn it.
Video evidence to do the opposite. So that could be a huge break for the Orange, having gotten that call in real time.
It's a big call here, because if it's Pitt's basketball, you got to foul immediately with 40 seconds left. You can't let 20 seconds run off, and you're down 5.
Bill Covington confers with Tommy Morrissey and Justin Porterfield.
After review, the play has been reversed. Blue ball. We put 40.9 on the game clock, 23 on your shot clock.
Well, it looked like they got it right.
They did. It looked like they Saw from Lucas Taylor's foot, same thing we saw. Now if you're the Orange, you got to try to find a way to get a 5-second count. I don't know if you can allow the shot clock to run out or let Pitt take it down, because then you'll be down 2 possessions with 20 seconds. That's
now,
just if Pitt doesn't score here.
Yeah, now Pittsburgh has 5 good free throw shooters on the floor. So whoever gets the inbound should be in a good position to cash in at the line if the foul's given. Lowe, the ideal candidate if you're Pittsburgh. The reach-in foul by Taylor will send the left-hander out of Missouri City, Texas, back to the line.
I think in situations like that, if I'm guarding the inbound, you got to do whatever it takes to not allow Lowe to get his hands on the basketball. When you're guarding players like that, when they run away from the ball, know that they're coming back to it. They're getting some type of screen. And situations like this, you don't want to put a 90% free throw shooter on the line.
A huge miss for Lowe. The door is still open for Syracuse.
Don't need a 3, just drive it.
Starling draws the foul and will shoot 2. It's going to go against Cam Corin. And so now Starling, who is a 70% foul shooter, he'll get a pair at the line.
Now, even for Lowe, we talked about how great of a free throw shooter he is. He's missed his last 2. And now you got a chance with very minimal time went off the clock. You make these 2. This is a 1-possession game. And with the 1 second difference, now you can foul again.
Starling with that little hitch in his free throw motion, able to get the roll.
Yeah, doesn't get a lot of arc on it, but he's a scorer and he's perfected his shot.
Couple of big free throws, and like you say, Randolph, back to a 1-possession game. Now offense, defense switch against for Pitt. Corin goes out, the better free throw shooter. Guillermo Diaz-Grand comes back in.
And now I think you're stringing the game out, right? You don't need to try to deny. You deny Lowe, then you foul.
Dunn has it knocked away by Starling. Pittsburgh basketball.
Yeah. You saw the double team coming. I wouldn't guard Dunn out of bounds. I would turn if I'm Majstorovic. Lowe cannot get this basketball. Make someone else step up and make these free throws. You try to get it trapped, you get it out of his hands, but you can't let a lot of time run off the clock here.
Kyle Cuff into the game for Syracuse. He defends Lowe, gets it to Austin, who throws it down, 73-68. Starling, down. Double flyby on a big three-pointer. Good gather by the junior from Concord, California.
Great execution late there. You make the mistake, you give up the easy basket, you don't get a chance to foul. They wanted to foul. You give up the dunk. Great play there by Bell. Shot faking, not rushing it. Game on the line, takes his dribble, gathers himself, and knocks down a 3. Keeping the Orange in this, and see by his expression there, he's been in this moment quite a bit. 2-point game.
Well, his shooting numbers continue to creep up in what has been to this point a disappointing season for him. Now over 30% on the year for a guy who shot 42% a year ago. So now anyhow, Pittsburgh will get the basketball up 2. And if you're Syracuse, what are you looking to do to defend that inbounds pass?
Well, ideally, you'd like to get a 5-second count. If you can't get that, you don't have a ton of time to waste here. You got to try to maybe get a trap. And once the trap happens, you got to foul right away. They got burned last possession. They weren't able to commit the foul. They tried to trap and rotate. When you rotate, someone's going to be open. And Pitt's going to put 5 ball handlers in the game right now. So you got to be really careful there. But there's a ton of time here. It's still a 1-possession game. But for Syracuse, you got to talk out all your scenarios now. This is where your practice come into play because you're out of timeouts. So you got to kind of talk through every scenario possible here.
So now after the huddle in Pittsburgh, Leggett pulls his teammates together. They have a brief huddle. I like that. And let's see how Pitt reacts to the moment.
They're putting length. Majstorovic is all over the basketball. He needs to force it in the corner. Try to deny it. Force it in the corner right in front of the bench, but you got to deny it.
Lowe's got the basketball, and he is fouled by Taylor. And so Lowe, who again is by percentage the best free throw shooter in the ACC, goes to the line where he has already missed 3 this afternoon.
He's missed his last 2. So at this point, it doesn't matter, but there was enough time there to try to eliminate Lowe from getting the basketball, but he's in this moment, he's just collecting his thoughts.
He's visualizing right there, thinking about the ball going through, seeing it go through the net.
Absolutely.
It's a great shot.
Just calm your nerves, relax. This is what I do. Great job by him. You see him give it back to the officials there. When you're in these moments, you want the ball when you're ready to take shot. No one speeds your clock up. That's why he's so calm and collected in situations like this.
75-71, timeout Pittsburgh, leaving the Panthers with 1. 16 seconds to go. Still not late enough in the game clock where the Orange have to go for 3.
No. It gives you another time now. Syracuse doesn't have a timeout, so you get to execute. 16 seconds left. It's a 4-point game. No need to rush. You put in a play where you got an option for a 2 or a 3. Take the one that's open. I think Pitt will be hugging the 3-point line. They may switch any ball screens or any screens at all. Drive it, get a layup. Ideally, you'd like a foul, but you've got to match up quickly.
We'll get you to Austin, Texas just as soon as we are done here in Central New York. They are scheduled to tip off the Aggies and the Longhorns in a minute or 2 over on the app. And then we'll get you on ESPN2 just as soon as we can. With 16 seconds to go in regulation. Adrian Autry, Syracuse Orange, looking to get back to 500 on the year. Pitt, meanwhile, looking to snap a 4-game losing streak and hold on to what would be a 10 seed, according to Joe Lunardi at the moment, in the NCAA tournament field of 68.
Must-win game if you Pitt. You've got to end this streak. You've got to find a way to close this game out. But the Orange here, if you score this basket, I would, if I'm a Storovich, I would guard with double Lowe here. I can't allow Lowe to be single covered. Drive it, force the official call.
Storovich lays it in, 8 seconds to go. Inbound to Austin, he holds and is fouled. Looks like it'll go against Starling. And so we'll walk to the other end of the court for the 90% foul shooter. Now that goes against Taylor, so that is his 5th.
Yeah, which is great in a sense of it allows you now, take your time, call the entire team over. It essentially gives you a free timeout here for Adrian Autry to buy as much time as he needs to make sure that his guys know what he wants to execute here until he makes a substitution.
Now, the last couple of games, Adrian Autry's team has shot it better. 11 threes against Clemson on Wednesday. They've made 11 again today. Yeah, so if indeed they called that foul on Taylor before Starling got there, there would probably be some time put back on the clock. And indeed, it is the 5th on Taylor. He is disqualified. At the moment, 7.2 seconds on the clock. So Kyle Cuff comes back in as Austin goes to the free throw line.
Autry telling his group if he misses one, he draw up a play. Give his team a chance for 3. And then on the other end, Capel is discussing with his group if the free throws miss, if he wants to foul or not. But big free throw here by Zach Austin. That may ice this game if he makes it.
Huge free throw back to a 4-point game. Inbound to Starling. The 3 is long. Cuff has it. He puts it up. And Pittsburgh has snapped its 4-game losing streak with a huge 77-73 road win.